Mike Bohn here in Atlanta with former UFC heavyweight champion Frank Mir, who is fresh off his boxing debut. Frank, I know things didn't go your way tonight, but just tell me, how do you feel about your performance in a decision loss to Steve Cunningham?
Well, I actually felt pretty good about it. I felt that, honestly, I had won the first 2 or 3 rounds. And then after a while, and I knew that would happen, that, Steve's 30 years of boxing experience, he's going to figure out my tells and my trades that I use. But in my mind, if I know that I can hang with a boxer for 2 or 3 rounds and win those rounds, had that been an MMA fight, then I win the fight, and that would carry over to my MMA career. And that's really what I am as a mixed martial artist. It's looking to always push myself. I tell people I do the same thing when I do jiu-jitsu competitions. I only stick to moves that I know I can use in an MMA fight because that's what I want to be best at. I don't really revert to a lot of the other different type of guards and whatnot that necessarily I can't use in an MMA fight.
And I want to go back to yesterday, actually, to the weigh-in. You come in 70 pounds heavier than him, which in MMA weight classes wouldn't even be a thing. It could only be a maximum, 60-pound discrepancy in the heavyweight limit. What went through your mind when you saw he came in that light? Did that change anything in terms of the strategy or your thinking towards the fight?
No, well, I thought that it would make it to where I would have to definitely, look, if he was going to stay with me away from me to begin with, this definitely hammered home the point that he doesn't want to take a shot from me. And so, I knew that I was going to have to fight a guy who was very fast and very savvy, but I wanted to show that me being 275, that I earned that in the weight room. I'm strong and I'm fit and I'm athletic, and that I could move that weight and it wasn't going to be a hindrance.
Yeah, and going in there in those early rounds, I know you said that's where you felt best. I mean, did you feel you had him hurt at any point, or was it just kind of knowing that it might be a longer fight even when you felt you were doing well in the early rounds?
There was one straight left, I caught him, and he went, ooh, and he said, oh, good shot. It ain't going to happen again. And in my mind, I'm like, well, I know what that means. I got you a little bit, you know what I mean? So, but I mean, obviously he landed the better shots and more proficiently than I did. I mean, no doubt I lost the boxing match. But as far as, I think for a mark in the MMA column and a mark for me as far as my evolution as a mixed martial artist showing my hands, I think it was a win.
Yeah, I was going to ask, we talked about that pass or fail standard in your mind coming in. In your mind, I know you didn't get the win, but was it a pass in your mind?
It is. It's a victory. I mean, honestly, my ultimate goal was to get a 6-round decision. But if you just said, hey, knock him out in 30 seconds or lose a 6-round decision where you boxed really well, I prefer that one. And I know that sounds like maybe a defeatist mindset, but I think real martial artists understand it's about the journey and not the destination. And that means more to me in my overall life than just catching somebody in 15 seconds.
Fair enough. Is this something you want to do again now, or is it, I got the boxing experience, I'm going to take what I learned here and apply it to mixed martial arts going forward?
Both. I'm going to keep using mixed martial arts. I'm looking maybe to do some grappling matches, the no-gi style, and then also do, again, MMA. I think doing all three, as long as you train properly, and again, I do everything with the mind that I want to be the best mixed martial artist. That's what my daughter does. Even when she wrestles, I watch her wrestling, she just won nationals. If she does a shot or a maneuver that I'm like, that doesn't carry over to our sport, I kind of frown on it. I'm like, hey, let's stick to moves that we know that you can win wrestling matches and MMA fights with.
And your thoughts just on the event? I mean, you're in the back, I'm sure you're focused on the fight and trying to do you warm up and everything, but are you watching on the screens, everything that's going on in terms of the event?
Yeah, no, I was really impressed. I mean, look, I've been a part of some of the biggest fights in history in the MMA side, and this was the most epic thing I've ever been part of. I mean, I can't tell you how many times me and John and my daughter were just kind of looking at each other. I'm like, I can't believe I'm a part of this. And I actually just said that in the last interview that we were there on the runway getting ready to walk out, and there's artists, dancing and twerking around and people there and fireworks going off. And I was like, if someone made a movie about fighting, this might be how they depict it. And I would be watching it going, oh, this isn't real. That's not realistic. That's not how you run a fight show. That's completely Hollywood. But lo and behold, that's exactly what happened here tonight. Triller put on an epic show. This is incredible, and I really do hope to be a part of one in the future.
And last thing, I had heard coming into this that regardless of how this went, there may be the possibility of a rematch with Steve in bare knuckle boxing. Is that something you want to do?
Yeah, actually, if Steve would take me up on that, absolutely. Before, I'm actually going to see if I can pick his brain and fix out what mistakes I made so he can make me a better fighter, if he's willing to do that. But I think I was asked if we wanted to do an MMA fight, and obviously I said yes to that, but I don't think Steve would say yes to that.
I'm sure it would be more lopsided than anything we saw tonight, boxing or bare knuckle.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that, look, and again, Steve's a phenomenal fighter, and beating him at boxing would be one hell of a feat. But I mean, like Ben Askren and myself, us just going, well, Ben's not fighting a boxer, he's fighting Jake Paul, but an MMA guy going the distance and losing a fight, but still doing well against a boxer. I mean, look, what would happen if I fight any top 10 boxer in the world at an MMA fight? any weight class. It isn't going past the first round, and if it does, I'd retire.
Sure. Well, appreciate the time, Frank. Nothing to hang your head about at all tonight, and I think you made the MMA community proud, as was your goal.
Cool. I mean, honestly, yes. I hope to make everybody that shows a mixed martial artist that we do work our boxing, and we're very good with our hands.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.